How's it going, guys? My name is MegaMilez and welcome to an off-topic video for our channel. We're a gaming channel, but as you know, I have ducks and it's been a constant struggle for me to create an efficient filtration system for them. So if you're looking to create your own swirl filter, you're definitely in the right spot because I've done a ton of research. I sat in front of the computer for hours watching other people's DIYs and, researching the technology and all that jazz. So it took me forever. So I wanted to make a video that shows you from A to Z how to do this, down to like what parts you need and how big they need to be to replicate the design I've created. It's super simple, but all this information is in one spot. I'm gonna leave like even links in the description to where to buy the specific exact pieces that I got. So hopefully this helps you out a ton. So if it does help you, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, because it means a lot to me. So let's get started.
Don't forget to subscribe, guys. It means so much. Thanks.
So this is the barrel I went with. I believe it's a 35 gallon or so. You'll see in the description a direct link to it. It's really nice, it's sturdy. It's got this locking top, which actually you could padlock if you wanted to. So this flips up. You can unlock that latch. Kind of have to work this thing off. It's hard to do with one hand. I'll see you guys once I open it. Okay, so got the latch off. Pop this off. And I really like the design of the barrel for the application because of this right here. It kind of, for a swirl filter, you want it to collect the waste down here. And this step kind of will help with that, making it harder once it gets down here to get back up to the top. Okay, so we'll start with the input right here. It is all 1 inch. We've got a barb fitting right here. Then we've got a threaded to slip adapter, followed by a uniseal. Then we've got a 3-inch long PVC pipe and a 90-degree elbow adapter. Okay, so next is the output, which is kind of a little more complicated, but that's why I'm making this video. So we've got, this is all for the majority 1 1/4 inch. You could go up if you want, but this is what I chose. So actually it's what my my biofilter fits. So we've got a barb adapter here, followed by the threaded to slip adapter, a uniseal 1 1/4 inch once again. And then right here, this pipe is, let me look at my notes, 7 inches long. And I measured this so it gets to the center of the barrel size that I'm using, which we'll talk about later. Followed by a 90-degree elbow. And then this part, this next series of parts, or these two, are they're not complicated, but you got to get the sizes right so it works. This guy is a 2 to 1 1/4 inch reducer. So it doesn't have threads on the inside, but it fits in here, which I'll show you in a minute. And then it goes to this reducer, which is 3 to 1 1/2. I kind of got lucky with the way it fit when I ordered it because I couldn't tell. So this side goes in here and then this side goes in here, and it reduces that. And the goal is you want a larger output and more surface area to catch the water that's draining out. I got this because my application is for ducks, to catch any feathers that happen to get in there, because feathers generally float for a while. And then this will just kind of prevent the majority of it going into the biofilter and clogging it up. And here's a shot of the output just so you can see it put together. So this is gonna be in the center of the barrel. Okay, so the last thing is the drain system that I've created here. So it's all 1 inch. You've once again got a barb adapter. This is starting from the outside. Then you've got a ball valve. And then you've got the threaded to slip adapter once again, followed by a uniseal, followed by another 3-inch PVC pipe, followed by a slip to this threaded adapter, followed by a barb fitting, and then we're gonna attach this to this hose that's on the inside of the barrel. It's 32 inches long, and then at the end of this, we're gonna put a combination of this hose clamp with either like a wooden dowel or a plastic stick, or I might use a PVC pipe, and that's gonna create like an internal vacuum for the bottom of the waste that collects, which I'll explain later. I'm planning to just attach this as is because it doesn't need to be watertight because it'll be submerged and it's only used for a drain, so it fits pretty tight with friction alone. Okay, so the tools that you'll need are as follows. These guys are freaking awesome for cutting both the hose and the PVC pipe. It's just a PVC cutter that ratchets. And then these guys are to cut holes in the barrel. So you're gonna need 2 different sizes for the way I have this set up. This is, will it focus? This fitting that you'll need is 1 3/4 inch or 44 millimeters. And this fitting is 2 inches or 51 millimeters. So you'll need those 2 to cut the holes in the barrel. All right, and then we have some PVC primer and glue as well as some thread sealant. So I'm gonna use a combination depending on the fitting, which I'll explain right here, just so we don't glue everything together. That way, if we need to take it apart, it's possible. All right, so this is the input. So for example, we're gonna be using this guy on these threads, whereas we'll be using this on this connection right here. That way, this is solid, and then on the inside, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna have it as friction. So once again, this is the output. We're gonna be using this here, and then everything else on the inside is not gonna be glued. And as you guessed it, similar logic here. I might not even glue this because of the ball joint. But yeah, so this guy probably won't get this on the output. And then this PVC pipe connection will get the glue, and then everything else on the inside will be unglued. Okay guys, so this is the layout of my holes for the barrel. So input is right here, output is right here. Keep in mind that this goes up to the top, so, well, I gave you the measurement, so you don't really have to worry about the logic behind that. This input, it is placed here, so when it's pointed down, the idea is the water catches this ridge and kind of almost helps separate the solids. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but in my mind, I felt like that would help. Then your drain will just depend on how you're setting stuff up, but you wanna put it, you can see how this is curved, so you don't wanna put it to where that uniseal is hanging on that lip. So I put it right here, and keep in mind, it doesn't have to be with the setup at the very, very, very bottom, because we're creating a vacuum for the inside that we actually manually vacuum the bottom. So we just need a good spot for the drain. So we're priming some of the fittings right now. You have to make sure that you kind of wipe off this guy so you don't drip everywhere. Then keep in mind outside or inside, it's going inside here, or the outside is going, you see what I'm doing. So I want to make sure we get the inside pretty well. There's a little bit of excess in there, but it'll be okay. And then we switch to the glue. And you once again have to make sure that you only have a little bit on here. Get that clump off. Okay. On the inside. And then push together and twist as you go in and hold it there. Let it create that seal. You can actually hear it wanting to pop out because it expands or does some cool chemical reaction. But in turn, it creates a watertight seal. Okay guys, now on all of the outer barb fittings, we're using, remember, the liquid sealant on the threads. So this goes on the ball joint, and then I've got a barb on the outside for a hose so I can, you know, when I drain out the water, I can put the hose wherever I want it to go. So you don't want to use too much because you want to be able to get it off later. That's the point of using the sealant in the first place. So just rotate, get a little bit on there, maybe even wipe off some more, and then just go around from where you started. And remember, when you're screwing it in, the excess is gonna follow the path of the threads, so it doesn't have to be solid as far as the coverage goes. All right. And also remember, once again, that these are plastic, so you don't want to go crazy tightening everything. So, twistaroo. And obviously we want the valve to either be facing sideways or up. I'm gonna go with up. And then, gotta get a couple wrenches because the inside pipe is spinning. So hold that in place. It's already pretty tight. Let me open this up a little. I hate these style of wrenches. We can do a quarter turn and then rotate the inner pipe. How about that? We'll make it all the way around. Okay, maybe we won't. I mean, I could force it, but you know, you kind of want it to where it's hand tight equivalent. So we're gonna leave it at that. I did about a half turn after. And once again, the only reason I grabbed this wrench was to hold the inner pipe from spinning. Okay guys, this is the output. One thing to make note of for the video, I've actually been sent the incorrect fitting. So I have another one coming. So this, it'll still work, but you need a different barb fitting. But the ones that I have are this side, or are the male. So just a note, so you don't get confused in the video, but this is like symbolic installation. But this is all how it is. And then this is really convenient for the feathers. Scrape it off, and then you can just actually pull this out. Just like that. Okay guys, so we are virtually finished with the exception of the output fitting and the barb. So I've showed you everything, the exact measurements for this, as well as where to glue and what glue to use. So remember, we use the thread, the liquid thread right here for these barbs. And then from this PVC adapter to this PVC pipe, we used the actual cement that bonds and fuses the pipes together. So this right here is the input. It's gonna shoot the water down, swirl it around, and then this is the output as it fills up. It's gonna drain out. Once I have the barb fitting, connect a hose over to the biofilter from Laguna. And I haven't used this yet, or this, obviously, I just built it. So I can't attest to it, but logically, I feel like for my application with ducks, this is gonna collect a lot of the solid waste, their poop, and take a ton of load off of this. Plus, this I'll be able to drain out with this handy dandy vacuum. I'm gonna connect this part to like a stick so I can have, you know, control instead of reaching down into the water. I'll be able to come out, you know, just grab the pole, put that down there, and, you know, dragging it along the bottom with the valve open is going to create a vacuum and just suck out all the waste at the very bottom. And then when I'm done, I can just place this hose right here so it's easily accessible. And then, you know, if I want to clean off some of the feathers, pull this out, you know, rinse it off, place it back in real quick, and then put the lid back on and be good. One additional thing I wanted to tell you guys is I got this biomedia, like heavy duty biomedia. And then what I did, I put them, as many as I could fit, in these bags, and then I'm gonna place them down at the bottom, just like this. I've got three bags. So this way we promote some good bacteria growth within the water system. And this is a great place to do it. So I feel like this will be beneficial in keeping, you know, the water as clean as possible. All right, guys, that was my DIY for how to create your very own swirl filter. The goal of this video was to make everything super easy for you, from what to buy, what size to cut, where to glue, and how to glue each fitting. So if I've achieved that, please leave a like and subscribe, especially for part 2, where I'm actually going to go out there and hook it up and, you know, apply the logic. Also, remember that I've left a link of all the parts in the description, so you can just click and order everything and then not even think twice about it. Because I was sitting seriously on like the websites for an hour, and I even drew out my little diagram to make sure I missed, or I didn't miss, a fitting. And then I ended up with like 6 extra fittings I didn't need, you know, and then like I actually got shipped a wrong fitting, an incorrect size. But hopefully this video prevents all that like thought process that you have to do, and then you can just like click and order. One other thing I wanted to say is, while my application is for ducks, which, you know, is probably the heaviest load, if you have a koi pond, a pond, I'm sure you know if you stumbled across this video searching for it, but for those who haven't, it'll still benefit you. The point of a swirl filter is to collect the particulate matter that's larger at the bottom, and instead of just sending it into the mechanical filtration, which is, you know, your foam filters and stuff like that, what that does is it reduces the load on these other filtration parts of your system, and it makes it easier. It extends your personal physical labor cleaning all this stuff up, which for me, I'm having to drain and clean out the mechanical filter that I have every 3 days for my ducks, which is a hassle, you know, but I feel terrible if their water gets dirty. So instead of doing that work, we're gonna be able to use that little vacuum, open the little ball valve, and then just suck all the crap out and send it on its way and keep our water much cleaner. So on top of that, it's gonna keep your mechanical biofilter so much cleaner and reduce the load on it, so you won't have any clogs. With that said, guys, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you get an alert for when I post part 2. I'm gonna be outside, have everything connected and running, and I want to show you, you know, just walk you through the system, as well as report back to you on how everything's working, from the vacuum to like its actual performance, and, you know, increasing my maintenance, my physical maintenance on the system. So once again, remember, while my application is for my ducks, which is like the heaviest load you can put on these systems, for it to be beneficial for you, you don't have to have ducks. You can have, you know, little tiny, you know, well, not super tiny, but like a regular aquarium. It could still benefit you as far as extending your drains, keeping your water healthier or cleaner in this sense. You know, I'm no expert as far as like pH levels and stuff like that, but I know that keeping that muck out of your water is a great thing for any application. So the goal of this video was to be super, you know, easy for you to follow along and feel confident when you tackle this project. It's a super easy project to do, but having everything, you know, in front of you, like, hey, I need these things in this size, you know, like it just makes it easier. So that was the goal of this video. So leave a like if it made your job easier. And either way, I hope to see you guys in part 2.